Right now, there are people sitting in a room, well, figuratively, who collectively own more wealth than the entire GDP of almost every country on Earth. We are not talking about rich anymore. We are talking about a level of wealth that feels like a glitch in a simulation. In just 6 years, the ceiling of human net worth did not just rise, it shattered. If you thought Jeff Bezos being worth $145 billion in 2020 was a peak, you're not going to believe where we are in 2026. One man is now worth nearly 5 times that amount. These people don't just own the market, they are the market. And wait until you see the number one, because he's redefined what a human being can own. Stick around because we are breaking down the Forbes 2026 list. And the numbers? They don't even look real. At number 15, hype man of the tech world, Steve Ballmer. He is arguably the most successful employee in the human history. As Microsoft's 30th employee, he negotiated a deal that let him keep a massive chunk of the company. And today, in 2026, he is worth staggering $130 billion, making him wealthier than his former boss, Bill Gates, and earns roughly $1 billion a year just in Microsoft dividends. He also now owns the LA Clippers, worth $4 billion, just as hobby. At number 14, Michael Dell, a pioneer who reinvented himself, the man who refused to be disrupted. Michael Dell started the company in a college dorm room at 19. That's a story most of us know. What most people don't know is that in 2013, Wall Street was done with him. They said the PC era was over. Dell took his company private, bought it back from the stock market, and rebuilt it from the inside. In 2018, he relisted it and he came back bigger than before. The lesson? The market will write your obituary while you're still alive. Don't let it. At number 13, Alice Walton, often called the maverick of the family by her father, Sam Walton. In 2026, she has officially reclaimed the crown as the wealthiest woman on Earth with a net worth of $154 billion, proving that while she never ran Walmart's daily operations, her 11% stake in the family empire is an unstoppable financial engine. Alice carved her own path into the high-stake world of fine art, founding the Crystal Bridges Museum and effectively turning her hometown of Bentonville, Arkansas, into a global cultural capital. She is now betting her billions on the future of medicine, opening the Alice L. Walton School of Medicine to train a new generation of doctors with a radical focus on holistic wellness and the arts. At number 12, we have Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, who at 95 years old is still the gold standard of investing, proving that the boring compounding beats flashy trends every single time. His strategy has not changed in 60 years. Buy great businesses at fair prices, and wait. Here's a number that should stop you in your tracks. 99% of Warren Buffett's wealth was accumulated after his 52nd birthday, not because he got smarter after 52, but because compounding takes time. In a world chasing 100 times crypto returns and viral stock tips, Buffett remains the most inconvenient reminder that the patience is still the most powerful financial tool in existence. At number 11, we have Amancio Ortega, the Zara founder who turned fast fashion into a global fortune. Now sitting as the wealthiest man in Spain and a dominant force in global real estate. He rarely gives interviews, avoids cameras, and he does not have a public social media presence. And yet, he has built one of the most successful fashion empires in history. His wealth is now heavily invested in prime real estate across Europe and America. The quiet ones, as it turns out, are often the ones actually winning. At number 10 and 9, the Waltons, Rob and Jim, the undisputed first family of retail. Jim and Rob hold the line for Walmart, proving that even in a digital world, the person who controls the physical shelves still holds the power. People keep waiting for Walmart to be disrupted. Amazon was supposed to kill it. It didn't. E-commerce was supposed to destroy it. It couldn't. In 2026, Walmart is still the world's largest retailer by revenue, with over $650 billion in annual sales. Rob and Jim Walton between them control vast stakes in this machine. Their wealth is not flashy, it does not trend on social media, it just compounds. At number 8, Jensen Huang, the man in the leather jacket who turned Nvidia from gaming chip company into the most important hardware provider on the planet, growing his wealth by 3,300% in just 6 years. Back in 2020, the Nvidia CEO was worth about $4.7 billion. Respectable, right? But then AI revolution hit. In just 6 years, his wealth has exploded to $162.5 billion. He didn't just climb the ladder, he built a rocket ship. Every major AI model you have heard of runs on Nvidia hardware. He is now the 8th richest person on planet. This is the fastest wealth accumulation from a traditional CEO we have ever seen in modern history. It tells us one thing: the world isn't betting on software anymore, it's betting on the silicon that runs it. At number 7, we have Bernard Arnault, the wolf in Kashmir. He proved that luxury is recession-proof, building a $193 billion fortress on brands like Louis Vuitton and Dior that sell the one thing money usually can buy: status. Luxury goods are what economists call the Veblen goods, products that become more desirable as they become more expensive. As long as human beings have that desire, and they always will, his empire is safe. At number 6, Larry Ellison, the cloud samurai whose ownership of an entire Hawaiian island is just a hobby compared to his Oracle database empire that now powers the AI revolution. At age 81, he is wealthier than ever, the old company CEO who simply refused to stop adapting. At number 5, we have Jeff Bezos, no longer the king, but still the emperor of everything. While Amazon delivers your packages, his Blue Origin rockets are racing to deliver humanity to the moon. Bezos is building a legacy that spans 2 planets. Its lunar contracts with NASA are active. If Musk is colonizing space, Bezos is building the infrastructure around it. The rivalry between these 2 men of the next century will be the defining business story of our lifetime. At number 4, Mark Zuckerberg, the comeback king who silenced the critics. His massive bet on agentic AI has turned Meta into a cash-printing machine for the next generation. Being written off in 2022, now Meta's stock has had one of the greatest recoveries in the corporate history. At number 3, we have Sergey Brin, Google's co-founder, who has turned his focus to high-tech airships and AI research, watching his wealth skyrocket as Alphabet's AI integration becomes the world's operating system. He had officially stepped back from Google in 2019, but came back to help build Google's flagship AI model, Gemini. Sometimes the most interesting chapters of someone's story is the one they weren't planning to write. At number 2, we have Larry Page, the elusive mastermind behind Google who jumped to number 2 this year. While we look for answers on the web, he's quietly funding moonshots from self-driving cars to life extension biotech with more than $257 billion net worth. And at number 1, the SpaceX explosion, Elon Musk. In 2020, we were debating if he'd stay a billionaire. Today, in 2026, he is sitting on the throne of $849 billion, gearing towards $1 trillion. To put that in perspective, if Elon spent $1 million every single day, it would take him nearly 2,000 years to run out. But here's the how. It's not just Tesla anymore. The real engine? SpaceX. Musk owns a $366 billion stake in a company now valued at $800 billion. He isn't just winning the car game. He owns the stars, and the market is paying him for it. He has grown his fortune 5-fold in just 6 years. If this rate continues, we aren't just looking at the world's first trillionaire, we are looking at the man whose personal bank account is larger than the GDP of most G20 nations. The gap between wealthy and top 10 is now a canyon. We are watching history's greatest wealth consolidation in real time. The question isn't how much is enough anymore. The question is, what does a world look like when one man owns the moon, the cars, and the chip in our brains? But I want to hear from you. Does this level of wealth fascinate you, or does it terrify you? And more importantly, who do you think is the first person to hit 1 trillion? Drop a name in the comments. Please do hit subscribe because the world is changing faster than you can refresh your feed. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for listening.